So we are back with another week of entertainment news. Mike, how have you been?
I've been doing good. How you been doing?
Just living, man. Day by day. Gotta take it slow. So I pulled up another list here of articles, and we're gonna go through them. This is a shorter list, which is intentional. I've been trying to cut down the size of these videos. Oh, and by the way, I also checked the recorders to make sure that the microphone is on while we're talking. I've had issues with that in the past. The microphone is on. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Let's get started. Marvel's What If series is coming this August to what I assume is Disney Plus. Now, I'm not sure if you've heard of Marvel's What If series, their upcoming What If series, but what it is, it's an animated series that's going to explore basically what if scenarios that happen in the MCU. You know, based off of the storyline of the MCU. They got some basically non-canon stories that they're going to have in this. They're going to have voice actors, basically the actors from the movies, come back and voice their respective characters from the movies. So yeah, what do you think about this? Because they haven't shown anything off of it so far.
Sounds like a pretty unique take on it. Definitely something different. So, hey, I'm always up for something more unique and kind of original. So, it sounds good.
Yeah, and
I see why they want to make it animated too. So, yeah.
They've also done a great job with like the Disney Plus shows that they've released already, which includes WandaVision and Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Did you see? I don't think you've seen either of those shows.
And I saw a bit of WandaVision, but then I think I stopped on episode 3, but haven't had the time to get back up because life's been stressful. So I had to finish that. Still, haven't seen the new Captain America Winter Soldier. Was that it?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I said it wrong.
Or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I just I took a look at that last week, I think, and I think I like that more than WandaVision, and I thought WandaVision was pretty good. So yeah, it actually reminded me of the more adult Marvel shows, the Netflix shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Like it had a more adult theme, like tone to it, which surprised me, and it had some blood in there too. So yeah, I hope they make more of that. But yeah, looking forward to this. Moving on, Housemark is searching for a autosave solution for Returnal, but claim it's not easy. So yeah, this just adds to the controversy of this game. There's been nothing but controversy again for Returnal's lack of an autosave feature in the middle of missions. And the levels are long, which is why it's a problem. So people who don't have a lot of time on their hands, there's no way for them to save their progress without having to quit the game or put the console in like rest mode, which is a problem. Yeah, this is just another reason why I'm not really why I don't care that I don't have a PS5 at the moment, and I'm not really looking to get one right now. This whole drama just doesn't make any sense. For this specific story, though, from what it says, they're looking for a solution that would enable players to quit without fear of losing their progress. But it doesn't seem like they're trying to add in something that's like a quick save, which is what Hades had. And Hades is another that was an indie game that was nominated for Game of the Year last year. That game has a quick save option. It's another roguelike game similar to Returnal. So I don't know if an indie game can implement a quick save. I don't see why this game can't. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, not gonna disagree with them and say, hey, it is easy, because I'm not really sure what it's like developing the game on their side, or if it has something to do with. I know they're doing like I guess they have procedural generation going on, so I'm not sure if that's the issue coming about with it. But I do hope that they do get it, because a lot of people, kind of like myself and you and me both, we have full-time jobs and stuff. And other people, they have family members, and they want to look in the and we have us seeing how cool the game looks, and it looks like it is a lot of fun to play. And so just seeing how long these runs are, and I'm hearing about it, and how hard it is, just making it through, like the bosses are just certain areas, and how you can die and just having to start all the way back over. It really does suck. So I'm hoping they do get that feature placed in. It should have been placed in day one, because them just having it like that on release date, in my opinion, it's unacceptable. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they must have been. I mean, they closed themselves off to a really big audience because of that. So I'm really hoping we do get that autosave feature, because right now, the game looks incredible, but that right there, it's a big killer for me.
And the thing is, like, you have the hardcore audience, the fanboys who are going to defend some bullshit like this, when clearly it's a bad decision from the development team to not have the option for players to save in the middle of missions so they don't lose their progress. People can, the hardcore gamers can defend this shit all they want. The goal of a major publisher like Sony, or a development studio like Housemarque, that's not really well known. Their whole business strategy should be with these games is to reach as wide of an audience as possible. And when you make bad design choices like this, all you're doing is turning off the casual audience. And the casual audience is where the bulk of your money is going to be coming from. Like I said, the only thing they've done is, proactively made the choice to lose sales over something that is really an easy fix.
Yep.
Like I said,
and I think just now they're just realizing what a big mistake they made now, seeing the backlash.
I mean, I don't understand what they really expected, but it's good that gamers are speaking up about this, because I don't want to see something like this catch on and have this crap in other games where you can't save your progress in the middle of a mission. It's like, fuck that. That's dumb.
Right.
Put in a quick save option. Put in an auto save option. Most video games have an auto save option now. So I don't understand why this one doesn't. But, it just goes to show, even if I did have a PlayStation 5, yeah, I wouldn't support this game at all. Because I don't like games that have bad design choices. It's really that simple. Yep, Housemarque back on their fuckery. What else is new? Next up we have, there is nothing stopping Insomniac Games from making Sunset Overdrive 2 for PlayStation. So I thought this was a very intriguing article, for the simple fact that Sony bought Insomniac Games a few years ago. And Insomniac Games, most of the games that they've released, they've made exclusively for PlayStation. Sunset Overdrive was the outlier. It was the exception. That was an Xbox One exclusive, and it eventually came to PC as well. I have the game on both the Xbox One and PC. I played, I think, a good 2 hours of it. It's a very unique game. It's a lot of fun. I'm not sure if you've seen gameplay for Sunset Overdrive.
Oh yeah, I played it a bit.
Yeah, so it's a very different game. I think it would be great if they did make a sequel for it. Problem that I see with it, though, is if they make it for PlayStation now, then it's not going to come to like any other platform, which includes PC, or at least I don't think it would, and that would really be the only issue I would have with it for the most part. And then Sony recently registered a trademark for Sunset Overdrive. But that doesn't mean that they're going to make a sequel. because clearly, you know, Insomniac Games, after Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, that comes out next month. After that game comes out, they're probably gonna just move ahead and make their Spider-Man sequel, which is what people would want over a Sunset Overdrive sequel.
Yeah, I would definitely want that over the Sunset Overdrive sequel.
Right. I think they should make a Sunset Overdrive 2. I just don't think they should make it anytime soon. I think they need to let that IP sit for a little while, focus on Spider-Man, and then come back. But yeah, I think it would be a shame if they just let the IP go. Not sure what your thoughts are on that though.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Only thing is, I don't really care if Sunset Overdrive 2 ever sees a lighter day. I personally wasn't really into the game. It was unique for sure, but I definitely wasn't too much into it. But yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from for that end. If they do end up making it for PlayStation, I could definitely see it only being exclusive and probably never coming to PC or Xbox. So yeah, that's definitely something to look out for.
I don't know why motherfuckers keep asking for Resistance. Resistance is done. It's dead. It's buried. You know, leave it alone. It's not. Resistance isn't coming back. It's just not. And honestly, I would rather have another Killzone game than another Resistance game, personally. So this was one of the biggest news drops that happened this week. It was reported that Sony has confirmed that PlayStation is working on 25 PlayStation 5 games, and about half of them are new IP. This is coming from PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulst, who also has he made his career at Guerrilla Games, who is responsible for the Killzone series and Horizon Zero Dawn, and before becoming the head of PlayStation Studios. So he reported that just about half of these games are new franchises, so that's around 12, 13 games that are going to be new IP, and then the rest are going to be returning IP such as Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, Ratchet and Clank. I don't think Ratchet and Clank is one because they already have another one that's coming out next month. So yeah, I'm curious as to what these games are going to be. What about you?
Yeah, for sure, and it's definitely good to hear about this because we've always been talking about how it's definitely not worth having a PS5 right now.
No.
So it's definitely some great news, and I'm hoping every one of the new IPs looks good and not some boring mess. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that and hoping the return on the IPs are definitely going to be good for sure. But yeah.
Well, I've been saying for a while now that this generation really is going to live or die by the new IP that comes out. If Sony and Microsoft manage to create some interesting franchises that are going to last for years and years to come, great, because that was really why, or a part of the reason why the 8th generation was basically a failure, is because Sony and Microsoft really failed to establish some great franchises that didn't exist before in previous console generations, and neither one really met that challenge head on and actually delivered. I think the only game that was a new IP that really knocked it out of the park was Horizon Zero Dawn. Everything else was just a waste. You had on the Xbox side, you had like games like Rise, Son of Rome, which was terrible, just a graphics showcase. You had other games such as Sunset Overdrive, but as good as Sunset Overdrive was, it wasn't a game that really caught on with people. And then they had a few canceled games that never saw the light of day. including that Dragon game that they were trying to make Scalebound, and that was canceled, which was embarrassing for them. And on the PlayStation side, besides Horizon, they had Drive Club, which was a failure. And I didn't really understand the point of Drive Club because they have Gran Turismo, which is obviously more popular. So yeah, I'm not sure what their plan was with that. They had Killzone Shadowfall, but that was really just a graphic showcase for the PS4 at the time. They had the Order 1886, which was a piece of shit. It's a good-looking piece of shit, but a piece of shit nonetheless. Yeah, they had God of War, which, well, I mean, that wasn't really a new IP though. Although I guess people treated it as such. But point is, like, these games, these companies, they need to make some new franchises that are going to last, and not basically come out and be forgotten within a few months. So I think we'll get a definitive answer as to which way it's going to go come E3. I think E3 is gonna really be the be all tell all. So
yeah,
because neither company did a great job with new IP last generation. Oh, aside from Horizon, I forgot about Ghost of Tsushima. That was pretty good as well. I didn't think it was great, but it was pretty good. So I'm wondering if they're gonna make an Uncharted 5. I don't think so. Nor do I.
Yeah.
Nor do I. Yeah. Nor do I believe that they should make an Uncharted 5. I think they should just leave that alone. You had 4 good games. Don't need to potentially ruin the legacy of that franchise with the 5th one.
Right.
Because Naughty Dog surely is not going to make another Uncharted game. They said 4 was going to be the last one, so they should probably leave that, where it is. Not sure if you're big on the Uncharted series or not.
I played 3 and 4, and I thought those were real good. I missed out on the first and second one, sadly.
The first one was, it was okay. It wasn't as good as the later ones, and then Uncharted 2 is like the one that everyone remembers. Yep.
Let's say, though, if we do get anything returning, I would like to see a new Sly Cooper game. I was a big fan of those growing up.
Yeah, I like the Sly Cooper games as well, but Sucker Punch is never going to make another Sly Cooper game, so yeah, that's not going to happen. Control, developer Remedy Entertainment, they confirmed that they're working on another new game, and apparently they have 6 games that are currently in development, although it's kind of hard to believe that, and you really got to take that with a grain of salt. And even if they are working on 6 different games, how much time are they really devoting to each project to make sure that each one is of quality? Yeah. I've been hearing more stories about that, because like Take-Two and Rockstar, they said that they have like over 90 video games that's in development or some shit. And yeah, that's just bullshit. What do you think about this? Because it says it's in the very, very early stages, so it's like, why even mention it?
Yeah, you're right. I hate when they mention stuff in the early stages, because I'm the type of person I like to see that gameplay like right then and now if they're even gonna bring it up. I don't like seeing like I guess like for the new Elder Scrolls, for example, they just just announced it with that little small trailer with no gameplay footage or nothing like that, and then have us wait for like what 3-4 years until they actually show some gameplay. Yeah, so I don't care. And even then, with some of those 6 games, they could be like eventually, I guess, one of them get canceled or like that, or you'll have like they'll start mentioning it, and then it'll be like in developmental hell. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of them mentioning it real early, because you never know what could happen years later. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, perfect example for that is the Square Enix's one of their last two major games, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15. You know, games that were basically in development hell for the longest time. And, you know, when they actually did show trailers and reveal more footage of those games, they hyped them up to hell and back to where people had certain expectations that were really unrealistic. And when those games actually came out, they were nothing like, you know, what was advertised. And it just led to monumental disappointment for the you know, the fan base of those audiences. So to me, it doesn't make any sense to announce a game too early. If you announce a game too early, then you run the risk of running the hype machine up, and then when the game actually comes out, it doesn't live up to expectations, then that's when you start losing your core audience. Same thing happened with Cyberpunk 2077 as well. They hyped that game to the moon and back, and they made a lot of promises that they could not keep. What happened was one of the worst releases in gaming history. But as far as Remedy goes, it looks like they have, they're trying to create first-person shooters or something, or the single-player modes for first-person shooters for 2 different games. And then they're apparently working with Epic Games to release two different games in the Control and Alan Wake universe. And then they're trying to make a free-to-play co-op game that's in early development. So
so nothing I'm really interested in.
Well, the ones that I'm curious about are these 2 projects set in the Control and Alan Wake universe. Well, it says one is a AAA game and the other is a smaller project. So really, there's only one out of the 6 that's potentially interesting. The rest of them,
that's about right.
Yeah, the rest of them just, yeah, who cares, basically. Moving on, we got some film industry news. NBC has pulled out of airing the Golden Globes, and it may be the last we see of the Golden Globes. And so I was actually very surprised to hear this when the story came out. The Golden Globes has been criticized recently for lack of diversity within the committee who votes on, you know, who gets nominated and who doesn't, who wins and who doesn't. There's an extreme lack of racial diversity within the Golden Globes committee, which is the HFPA. And not only that, certain celebrities have spoken out against them. Scarlett Johansson, for example, criticized the Golden Globes. I don't know the exact statement she made, but that's one of the people that came out and spoke out against them. And Tom Cruise sent all 3 of his Golden Globe wins back to the Academy and spoke out against them for basically the same thing, lack of diversity and all that. Some people are calling this woke, but at the same time, the Golden Globes had, you know, similar to the Academy Awards, hasn't really been that good for a long time. NBC just decided to pull the plug. What do you think?
Yeah, so I guess we definitely gonna hear about it, the diversity issue. And it's good that a lot of the I guess these A-list celebrities are, I guess, speaking out against it. And so with it being pulled, I can't really say I care too much because I haven't watched in a very long time. It hasn't been good for me in a long time as well. So I think it's about that time. I'm not saying I'm sad about it at all. Honestly, it's not an issue for me. I'll sleep without it really well. So yeah, I don't care too much about it.
Yeah, I think that's where people are starting to lean when it comes to Hollywood. These celebrities and whatnot, like they're not seen as important or put on a pedestal as much as they used to be. And I think part of that is the political climate of where the country is at now. And the other part of it is, you know, anyone can now get a camera, make content, and basically become their own level of celebrity. So actual celebrities aren't really seen or looked at the same as they used to be. And so I think that's part of the reason why. And then just these award ceremonies in general, the quality has declined with them very sharply over the years. And so I think people in general have just had enough of this shit. So I think it's a combination of different things. Yeah, there's no reason really to care about the Golden Globes. It is what it is. If it comes back, it comes back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, like you said, no sleep lost over it. Moving on, Seth Rogen has said that he will no longer work with James Franco after allegations of sexual misconduct. So this was a big story because Seth Rogen and James Franco, they've made some pretty damn good comedy films, including This Is the End and Pineapple Express, among others. The Green Hornet, that was another one, although I don't think that one is as popular as the other ones I mentioned. Apparently James Franco, and I wasn't aware of this, James Franco was accused of sexual misconduct back in 2014, and then again in 2018. This seems to be a reoccurring thing with him. Now, when it comes to allegations of, from women, you really got to take it with a grain of salt because there's a lot of women out there that lie, and there's a lot of women out there that they're just trying to put themselves in a better position, or they're trying to gain attention, or they're trying to gain something, be it monetary or status, whatever the case. But when you have someone who has repeated allegations from one year and to the next, then there's a gap between those years. Yeah, there's probably some truth to it. So, one of these allegations, apparently the one in 2014, James Franco was accused of trying to make a proposition with a 17-year-old girl on Instagram, and at the time he was 35 years old. And he addressed it saying it was bad judgment. So he did something. He pretty much admitted it. Someone like him should know better. Not just given the fact that he's a celebrity, but also, his age. Because he was 35 years old at the time that happened. I think Seth Rogen, he just said, you know what? I got a life. I got a wife to take care of. I like this guy and we've done some good work together, but if I keep working with him, he's going to drag me down with him, and I can't have that. So he made the decision and said it's time to cut the plug. And it's a tragedy because these two work really well together, and so it really sucks. What do you think of this situation?
Yeah, just reading the title, I was going to give James Franco the benefit of a doubt, but yeah, whole situations regarding him for the accusations. I mean, yeah, they are kind of fishy. I do expect him of that, so I don't blame Seth Rogen at all. He still has a career and everything like that to look over for. So yeah, I mean, it'd be stupid not to kind of disconnect from James Franco. So if they do end up really turn out to be true, yeah, I guess Seth Rogen definitely did the right thing. So. But yeah, but like you said earlier too, you definitely have to look out for women and what they do. But yeah, just reading about the whole situations, yeah, you could definitely see him being guilty of it. Because I'm like, wow, you definitely should know better. He's 35 when you did that, and I'm like, yeah, come on, Franco.
I mean, even if it's not the law, like a situation of rape or whatever he did with the 17-year-old. And it was completely legal, it's still not right for a 35-year-old man to try and seek some kind of sexual relationship with a teenage girl. I don't even think it's right for someone in their 30s to seek out someone who's in their early 20s. Like if you're in your mid 30s or whatever, and
yeah.
you're seeking someone who's in their early 20s. It's like something's wrong with that scenario. Something's wrong with that picture. And James Franco, I mean, someone like him, it's not like he can't, you know, get any women or whatever who's more on his level or closer to his age. It's not like he can't do that. Yeah, just strange story, but I'm hearing new things every day from Hollywood. It's always something. Either someone's getting a sex change, or coworkers not working, who worked well together aren't working together anymore. Someone's getting accused for sexual assault. There's always something in Hollywood. That's why I don't want to move over there. California?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
I'll stay as far away as I can.
Basically. So, Sony, getting back to the gaming stuff for a little bit, Sony has confirmed that they are expecting shortages for the PlayStation 5 to continue into next year. And this is on top of the fact that they're still looking to do an internal redesign of the PlayStation 5 so that they can appropriately meet the demand, the large, wide demand of the console. This is a pretty big story because we don't know what the market's going to look like for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, for that matter, later this year. The only thing I do know is that the consoles have been out for 6 months and they are still not available really anywhere. In order to get one, you basically have to go on social media, like someone's Twitter account, and then pay attention to which retailers are getting restocks. And it's not even remotely worth it to do all that. And then on top of that, neither console really has a wide, long list of games that are worth the asking price for either. And that goes double for the PlayStation 5. And then on top of that, you still can't walk into a store and buy one of these consoles, even when a restock happens. Every sale is entirely online. So I think they really messed up with these consoles. What are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's pretty sad. This thing just released. I mean, and they're already talking about a redesign too. They're struggling, and they have to admit that it's going to be a struggle getting one of these in 2022 as well. I mean, it's just pitiful seeing the whole situation play out. You see this thing being sold on eBay for like $1,000 and or even higher than that. And it's like, it's just such a shame. You can't even go in store buy it. Nothing. Like you said earlier, you got to follow follow someone on Twitter, like I guess like a PS5 Xbox tracker.
Yeah.
To say find which retailer is having a restock for it. And like you said, it's not worth the effort doing all of that just to get a console.
No,
it's pitiful. You should just get a PC instead. Like, doing all that, it's just not worth it. The PS5 right now, it barely has any exclusives out. So yeah, you're just better going for a PC and that peace of mind rather than just doing all this just for some console that barely has anything out for it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, with the PlayStation 5, I mean, their next major exclusive that's coming out, which is Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, that's going to be a great game, no doubt about it, but it's only available on PlayStation 5, so I can't even play it. And that's coming from someone who's been playing Ratchet and Clank since the very beginning, since the series started back in 2002. So I think it's they're really hurting themselves by not allowing customers to go into the store, normal consumers, and just buy the console that way. And so until they make the decision to allow retailers to sell the console in stores, which they really don't have an excuse for not doing now because of like the vaccinations, and now the CDC and Dr. Fauci, they've already come out and said that you really don't need to wear a mask in public anymore. And so we're slowly starting to return to normal life after the pandemic. And so they can't even really use that as an excuse anymore.
Yeah, it's not working anymore.
No, it's not. It's really not. But this is the gaming industry. Screwing over the consumer is like the top priority of these companies, or so it seems. Speaking of the PlayStation 5, IGN has updated their list, I guess, either that or re-uploaded it, of the top 10 PlayStation 5 games that's currently available on the console. I'm very interested to see this list because I'm pretty sure it's nothing but bullshit. So let's scroll down and see what they got. So number 10, you have Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is a turn-based game based off of the popular but niche RPG action series. And so Yakuza Like a Dragon, I actually did buy that game recently on PC, but I haven't played it. I haven't played it yet, so from what I heard, it was pretty good. But yeah, that's not a PlayStation 5 exclusive, so I'm not really sure why it's on the list. Yeah, Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I don't think that's a PS5 exclusive either. I think that was also released on PS4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Bug Snacks. I don't know why they made a game called Bug Snacks, but okay. You have the Pathless. You've heard of the Pathless?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned. I just saw a gameplay of it today. Yeah, it's the people who made like Abzu, that one water underwater game, and that I think they also made that other game. I forgot what the name was. Can't remember, but yeah, I've seen gameplay of it.
Is it any good, or does it look any good?
Yeah, it looks pretty decent to me. Like a cool little indie game you could play. But it's really nothing like crazy or like worth the price in my opinion. I think it's like $40, but I would pay like $20 for it.
Right. Well, moving on, we have Hitman 3. That's not an exclusive either. You can play it, or PS5 exclusive anyway. You can play it on PS4. You can play it on Xbox. You can play it on PC. So again, I don't understand. Then we have Spider-Man Remastered at number 5. That was one of the best games that came out last generation. One of the best PlayStation 4 games. Yada yada yada. But the redesign of Peter Parker, the terrible redesign of Peter Parker, alone is enough to make me not want to play the remastered version, and just stick with the PS4 version. Not to mention the so-called graphical update for the remastered version is not. It's not really an improvement over the PS4 version, which, in my opinion, looks better. And I'm not the only person that said that. Not a very compelling list so far, IGN. We have Astro's Playroom, which is technically the first PS5 exclusive that's on this list. But it really is just a showcase game to demonstrate like the DualSense controller and all that. It's a tech demo, basically. It's not really that much of a standalone type of thing. You have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is not an exclusive either. You can play it on PS4.
Yeah.
You can play it on PC. You can play it on Xbox. Or you can just pirate the game for free. You can do that too. What were you going to say?
I said they're definitely on some bullshit putting this so high.
Yeah, I'm not understanding these lists because IGN, they do lists like this all the time and it never really makes any sense. At number 2, you have Demon's Souls, which is a remake to a 10-plus-year-old game. And the gameplay is still outdated, even though the game itself, resolution-wise, is still, it's been updated and everything. But I just don't understand why you would play something like this unless you really love the original. It would just make more sense to play like From Software's most recent titles, which include Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. It would make more sense to play those games over this, I would think, because they're actual like new games, and this is just basically the same thing. Yeah, not really understanding that one. And of course, number one, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales, which also is not a PS5 exclusive. You can play that game on PS4. I played the entire game on PS4. So actually, I earned the Platinum Trophy on PS4 for this. So yeah, not a not a very compelling list.
Yeah.
And the PS5 is what, $400 for the digital edition, $500 for the disc, the actual disc drive. Yeah, stay classy idea. Yeah, that's just terrible, terrible. Anyway, moving on. We have some movie trailers.
We got a new Venom movie.
Yeah, the first one wasn't good, so I don't know why people are looking forward to this one, but let's take a look. Jesus Christ. I already don't want to see this. They turned Venom into a children's one-liner character. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I was expecting something. I never even saw the first movie.
Yeah, the first one was
when
terrible.
I saw the first movie, I was expecting something darker.
No. The first one was like this too, but this seems to be worse so far.
Generic as hell.
They hired Woody Harrelson as Cletus Cassidy, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, looks pretty generic.
I'm sorry, you said what?
It looks pretty generic.
That's because it is. This once again lines up with what's wrong with modern Hollywood blockbusters and modern film-going audiences. The only thing that film-going audiences can look forward to is seeing a random comic book character in live action for the first time. It's like, oh, there's Carnage. That's the whole selling point. Because if you actually pay attention to like the dialogue and like the voice acting, it's so below the bar of what people should expect and should ask for with these big budget movies that, you know, really makes you scratch your head a little bit. And it's like we have these media outlets like IGN who upload nonsense like this. Why Venom doesn't need Spider-Man. Except Venom does need Spider-Man. He's a Spider-Man villain. The same thing with Carnage. The reason Venom 1 didn't work is because, well, part of the reason why it didn't work is because they couldn't put Spider-Man in the movie. So yeah, this looks to be about on the same level of quality as the first one, and the first one was a piece of garbage. So
yeah, let's hope this one flops so hard they never make another.
Well, the thing is like Sony. I think they still currently own the license to make Spider-Man movies. The Spider-Man license, the movie license, doesn't belong to Marvel or Disney. And Marvel, they had to sell some of their the film rights for some of their characters back in the I think in the 90s, and that's how Fox got X-Men, and that's how Sony, that's how they got Spider-Man. This is years before the MCU. Now Sony, they have to make a new Spider-Man movie or a Spider-Man related character or whatever, a movie of a Spider-Man related character, in order to keep the license. Like they have to release something every few years. They're doing these Venom movies, and then now they're trying to do Morbius, the Living Vampire. That's another Spider-Man villain. And I also heard reports that they were thinking of doing like an Aunt May movie, which is like, who the fuck wants to see a movie about Aunt May? Come on. Yeah, this just it's an insane situation, but I think this movie, it's gonna sell just because there's it has Carnage in it, so that's the whole selling point. But yeah, I will not be spending money to go see that. Nope.
And I'm with you right there.
Okay, let's take a look at the Protege. I don't know what this movie's about, but apparently it has Samuel L. Jackson in it, so let's take a look. It looks to be another generic femme fatale movie.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Just, got your typical, I guess, your strong female cast lead, some generic ass villains, just a generic ass action movie. Nothing special here. I didn't find any of the any of the characters interesting at all, alone from that trailer, and nothing really grabbed me. It seems like they just use Samuel L. Jackson as a big name to pull you in, and he doesn't even seem to really have a major part in the movie as well.
Nah. I've been noticing that from Samuel L. Jackson for the longest time. He'll just take random film roles where he's really not in it that much, and it's like, why even bother?
Yep.
Yeah, so
he's really just in there to get that quick check and then just bounce.
Basically, because I guess he's earned that prestige level to where he can do something like that. Put in minimal work as as possible, and just get a check, and that's it. So
yep.
Don't really care about this at all. So it is what it is. Last but not least, we have the DualSense, the new DualSense controller, Cosmic Red and Midnight Black, as they're calling it, that are now up for pre-order. And the major thing here that I wanted to discuss is the price. So both of these controllers, Sony is going to be selling these at retail MSRP for $75 here over in the States. And I'd imagine in other territories it's going to be something similar. If you live in like Canada or Australia, the price is obviously going to be higher. Just due to I guess the GDP of those countries, the currency over there. So yeah, what are your thoughts about these new controllers? Because all it is a color swap.
Price alone, I mean, we're already seeing everything getting so expensive, so I'm not surprised at it. I wouldn't, just seeing the price alone too, I wouldn't purchase it either. And just seeing how the whole situation is playing out with the PS5, I think it's a bad time to even market these. I mean, it's kind of it's a big slap in the face, honestly, in my opinion, just knowing how this situation is going with the consoles. So, yeah, that's how I feel on it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I pretty much feel the same way, that they really have a lot of nerve to market something like this, and the console itself is still doesn't have the availability that that it should. This is 6 months after the initial release of the PS5, and they have some nerve to do something like this. I just don't understand that. And yeah, inflation is more than likely the reason why the price is higher, but it's still $75 for a video game controller, which is absurd. And like I said, if you're just looking at the design of the controllers, they look nice for sure, but that's a lot of money for a video game controller.
Absolutely.
And
I actually think it's foolish to even buy that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you've heard of the issue with the DualSense controller. They call it drifting, where
What's that about?
You said what?
What's that about?
It's like a defect in the controller where the controller will start to like bug out, and it'll start to move your character on its own without your input.
Oh man, yeah, okay, I know what you mean.
So
it's still an issue with this controller?
That's something that just started happening a few months ago. There have been reports of controller drifting on PS5. So yeah, and then with like the DualShock 4, for example, I think it was the day of my birthday. I bought the red camouflage controller. I spent $70 on that, and the controller lasted a long time, but then eventually it started to the D-pad, the directional buttons, started to cave in, and now I can't really use it that much. Like if I try and move over to the right on the D-pad, it'll go down instead, and so I have to tap it multiple times to get it to do what I want. These controllers really don't have as much longevity as you would think they should for the price that that Sony is trying to charge them for. And then there's also the other issue that Sony has received 2 lawsuits so far about driving up the prices on the PlayStation Store, which is going into monopoly territory. It's just the whole PlayStation ecosystem is it's not where it needs to be. And this is one of the reasons why I made the jump to PC. And this is just this just further incentivizes me to really stay away from consoles and for the time being. So yeah, that's what I think about these controllers. They look nice again, but they're not worth $75. So
yeah, they can post as many pretty images as they want to, but we're not falling for it.
Well, you and I aren't falling for it. The thousands of fanboys that are out there, that's a different story. Yeah, that's a different story. What was your favorite article?
Favorite? I have to say that the new Marvel series sounds really interesting to me. I'm actually not too sure what my other one would be. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go with the new Marvel series that's coming out. I'm actually pretty interested in that one, especially after, even though I haven't gotten too far into WandaVision, from the few episodes I've watched, it was already definitely something special for sure.
The What If series is something I'm looking forward to as well. Although my favorite article probably was the Seth Rogen James Franco situation. I think that's a damn shame those two won't be working together anymore. Because there's not really,
because they work good together with the movie.
Yeah, but it goes beyond that though. To me, because there's not really a whole lot of good comedy movies that come out anymore, and there hasn't been for a long time. To get a good comedy movie now it's pretty rare. Yeah, that whole situation sucks. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for the entertainment news for this week. Glad to have you on board yet again, Mike, and we will definitely return next week.
Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely.